Pa 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 pum pum pa pa pa. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Okay, this is what I look like now. Okay, because you guys are not watching my videos enough, I had to get another job, and this is what they wanted me to do. You guys want the video? You want not the video? You guys want the beard back? Start subscribing and giving me revenue. I actually look like a child molester. Not that I am. Moving on. Welcome to another story time video. I'm running out of ideas, so I've decided that since the last story time video got a lot of views, I will try to tell you another story. This one is going to be very happy because I'm going to be talking about my first relationship. Keep in mind that I can't disclose a lot of information, mainly because it's not entirely my story. But my ex was a bitch, and I'ma reveal that snake for the snake that she was. I can't stop looking at myself, dude. That's so ugly. Oh my god. I have not scripted this video because I'm a dumbass, but we should just go with the flow and see how long this becomes. All I've done is made this small cheat sheet, which has basically just one words, which I made while I was at work because my mind was not on work itself, it was on this channel. Anyways, my main aim with this video, like the previous story time video, is that you guys can learn from my improvement, from my embarrassment, and make some changes in your life, right? So let's go back to a time when Clayton was a virgin with no beard, and now years later I am still a virgin looking like a virgin. It was around 2017 when my best friend at the time started dating, and he and his girl at the time had this relationship that you look at and you want it. That's the kind of relationship they had. And from my perspective, I was never a guy that wanted to date someone because I was mainly I can be happy on my own. We'll ignore that I looked like a gola asshole and I couldn't get girls. That's not the reason I was single. The reason I was single is because I didn't want to date anyone else. That was the reason. Now with this face and this no beard look, single. I'm going to remain single and die single. 6-7 months passed. My friend was still dating, and then the next year when I went to first year is when I started, self improvement, trying to become the funniest guy in the room, losing weight and shit. And it was around this time that I met a girl. Let's call her Exhibit A. Exhibit A was not from Goa. I'm from Goa. She was from, let's say for the namesake of this video, she was from Odisha. So she was studying there and I was studying here. So I met her online through a friend, I think, and we started texting. Immediately, I liked her vibe, she liked my vibe. So I did the basic thing of, when you meet someone new, the first step is obviously engagement through texting, like make them text fast. Then the next step is that you want them to engage in sending you photos, because it's not exactly about, making them send you nudes and shit. It's just that you're making them show you a part of their life. How you do that, I'm not going to give my secrets away. And then the third step is try to get them on call or meet them in person immediately. Now, I couldn't do the last step because long distance. So my only thing was to get her on call ASAP. So I think in the first week, because I knew I liked her, in the first week itself, there was a lot of texting and I got her number, we exchanged whatever she called. And we spoke, I think, for an hour or so. And it was all nice feelings, right, from the inside. And this was around the time when I lost all my weight and I was actually getting attention from all the girls that I knew at the time. So it felt very nice. I never looked at it like, I would end up dating this girl from Odisha, Exhibit A. Time went on, few months passed, the normal shit happened. We started texting a lot, we started calling a lot. Keep in mind, this girl never drank alcohol. And a few months later, I think it was 2-3 months later, she got drunk in Odisha. She texted me like stuff which I can't tell because once again, it's not entirely my story to tell and share. So it was all this nice romantic feelings of, damn, I want to make this girl happy. So whatever she told me on call that day, it drunk her. She didn't remember the next morning. And it was a roller coaster of emotions for me because I was like, damn, this girl, someone really likes me so much, that I've said this before and I will say it again. Love is one of the best feelings in the world, but it also hurts 3 times more or 30 times more when you lose the person that you care about so much. Because with love, to enjoy it the way and enjoy the full emotion of love, you have to let go of yourself. You have to open up and show your partner a side of you that no one else has seen. And that's why it hurts so much when you lose your partner, you get dumped, or you get cheated on. By this alone, you guys should know where this story is going, because it is not a good ending. A few months later, we are still talking, we're still texting. We used to get on video call like almost every day. We used to talk the entire day. I'd wake up in the morning, after work, after college, we'd call. Evening again, we'd call. Night, we'd call. It was like proper puppy love. But at the time, it was all new feelings to me, right? Like, I was so, how do you say this? Strange, is that the word? I don't know. I was so in the moment of just the whole idea of I'm actually falling in love with someone was amazing. And then, so around the time when I had this girl on call falling for me, at the same time I had another girl in college who was also falling for me, and I was close to both of them, but I didn't necessarily want to date either one of them. And I'd already made up my mind that if I was to date one of them, it would be the one in Goa itself, because first of all, she and I connected a lot, to the point where everyone thought that she and I were dating. But I was like, if I am to start dating, rather have someone in person with me than me flying to another state like Odisha and then meet that one. And I think it was around my birthday time. So this is where me, being the dumbass that I am and the smartass that I am, started using my psychological play on people. I'm very manipulative. So I knew that I wanted to get to Bangalore, to Odisha. I knew that I wanted to get to Odisha. I knew I wanted to get there, but I didn't know how to get there. I didn't have the money. Obviously, I was living with my dad, and I didn't know what to do. And that's when it occurred to me, a few months before that, prior to that, my mom did tell me that dad had promised to take her to said state where the girl was from. And so I decided, like, how do I play this? How do I play this game? Where I tell my mom that we should go, but I make it look like it was her idea originally. That's the only way to make a woman do something, right? You have to put the idea into their head and make them assume it was their idea in the first place. So that's what I did. So I remember my dad came down for the month of my birthday, and I went into my mom's room, and I told her that, dad had told you that he's going, or we have holidays. Why don't we try to do a weekly trip to the said place and then go level to level, whatever. Something like that only I said, and I instigated this seed of thought into my mother's head. Okay, and knowing how manipulative I am, the results came in 2 days. So I think I left my mom's room, and then immediately she called up my dad and was like, we should go somewhere. I've been thinking that, let's go here, let's go there. We should go to the same state which I wanted to go to. Somehow all of this happened, and I told her that I'm coming there for a week. And I met her when I reached the place, and she was excited to see me. I was excited to see her. We were traveling in taxis. The first day I was supposed to meet her, so I was there for a week, and I was supposed to meet her only for one day, and it was supposed to be only for 1 hour, only for morning breakfast. And she and I enjoyed each other's company so much that we spent the first 3 hours not knowing that hour had gone by already, and we just sat, I think, in a cafeteria at the mall, just talking. We spent the whole day together. I forgot that I came there with my family, so I called them up and said I'll meet you all at night if it's possible, because I knew I wouldn't get the chance to meet this girl again, most probably. As night came, I remember I was walking her. I remember exactly, it was outside the mall. I was saying bye to her. I was walking her to her Ola that came to pick her up, and so she's in my arm, and it was like this cute moment, and I can actually feel my heart going to. Keep in mind that I had no intentions of asking her out that day or trying to date, right? My only intention was meet her in person and see where it goes. But I enjoyed her company so much that day that I didn't want to lose her. And so as I was walking with her, and she's in my arms, we shared a lot of cute moments also that day, like in the taxis and all. She was sitting right next to me, and I was close to her. It was this nice bubble of warmth, of love. Love sucks, okay? Love will make you feel things that you should actually not feel in your life. Love is bullshit. Learn from what I've endured and save yourselves. It's too late for me now. So yeah, I was walking her to the bus stop, to the taxi. And when we reached the taxi, I remember we passed this big banyan tree, I think it was. I don't know. And my heart is going dup, dup, dup. I can see time slowing down. I can see all these auto drivers just waiting, looking at her and me. I'm so scared. I can see the wind blowing gently. And just before I reach her taxi, this is when I should have noticed the first red flag in that entire relationship. But I was an idiot. So I knew that she was a little troubled girl in all of her, with some of her life experiences or whatever. So I knew that she had a hard time accepting the thing and the concept of love. And after how many times I've been played, I struggle with the same concept now. Just before we reach the taxi, I grab her hand and I say it, I'm like, I want to tell you something. I'm so nervous. My words were not coming out. I didn't frame nothing, and I just said, I think I love you. I said like properly. Now I don't remember because it was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. She melted, but she said, I don't believe in the concept of love, and you know that.
Khatam. Bye bye. Tata. Goodbye.
That should have been the first red flag, Clayton, you muppet. Note to self: when you utter the word, okay, yeah, you guys could learn from my mistake. When you utter the words "I love you" and you don't get "I love you" back, you get anything else, it's a red flag, and you should most probably not go into this relationship. Anyways, I dropped her at the taxi. It was all roses and red, whatever, and we started dating that day itself. Then I went for my trip. I saw all my places, went around wherever, and then after a week I came back to Bangalore.
Khatam. Bye bye. Tata. Goodbye.
To Odisha. I came back to Odisha. So the first week of the relationship was the entire honeymoon phase, right? And it lasted for a few months. Fast forward, so the last day after I came back from the trip, I met her again. I told my dad also I'm going to meet her, because I'm not going to meet her again, blah blah blah. And I met her again, and she took my jacket, and I was like, damn. And then she used that jacket, so it was all puppy love to her. It was all so cute and so in the moment, and what went wrong, dear God. So yeah, after that, the next few months were us just getting closer and closer, talking on call all the time and all that, And then there were a bunch of more red flags that popped up. But me being the sweetheart and me being the guy that was in love, I didn't see any of them as flags. I saw them as, maybe this is what love is, where you compromise and don't understand what makes sense to you anymore. So there were a lot of things which I was not okay with, but I was fine with, because I was like, this is my first relationship. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is how it is. So I remember that first time I was at the lowest. I had I won't say anxiety attack, but I had some kind of attack. I think a few months into the relationship, I had some kind of attack, and then she went to another state, and she barely contacted me for the whole week that she was there. Another red flag, clearly. But because I was such a nice guy, I just kept saying that she must be busy. So there were hardly any texts or any calls, and this created that sense of vulnerability in me that I've been so close to someone. There was always texting, always calling. Did this person just all of a sudden fall out of love with me? And I remember that entire week it was just me wrapped up in my room wondering what went wrong and shit. I would say that I didn't cry and shit, but I didn't cry, okay? Grown men don't cry, kids cry. And because I was a kid when this said incident happened, I was crying. Now my tear ducts have been removed and I don't cry. So yeah, that whole week was a lot of crying and self-doubt and, thinking I'm not worth it or whatever. And she called, I think, on the 5th day around 4 o'clock in the night, and she sent this stupid text oh, you're asleep. And the next day I woke up, I saw the text, I saw the missed call, and I remember I hated myself that if I just stayed awake for another 2 hours, maybe I would have gotten to speak to her. And I remember that the next 2 days I didn't sleep, I couldn't sleep. So I have this thing wherein if something really bothers me, I can't sleep. My subconscious keeps showing me vivid images of it. I'll keep getting weird dreams and nightmares around the same topic that's not letting me sleep. So I'll keep getting up So that was the same thing that happened during that week. That for the last 2 days, I just kept not sleeping and waiting. That just in case she calls, just in case she calls, I would be like an idiot waiting at the phone. Obviously, this was very toxic relationship, but I was blind. There were a lot more red flags. Like I remember that there was another thing which she didn't tell me the entire truth of, but I kept it calm, saying, this is what love is. Maybe she's just said that she would hurt my feelings, and that's why she didn't tell me the entire truth. So I didn't question her about that as well. I was just an all-rounded nice guy, so I didn't ask her about that as well. A few more months go by, we had a few fights and shit, and we went on a few breaks. I think she took 3 breaks. Those were the times also that I was at my lowest point. I think after almost 2 years of dating, let's skip forward, right? There was also a point where I don't want to admit this, but I will admit it now. So there was a point where she and I were staying together in a hotel in the other state. Just to be clear, this was like I used to travel up and down to meet her, and like sometimes, just to show that I still care or whatever. Back before YouTube money, when I had actual money and before COVID, I used to travel, and all that money is gone. It's wasted. We don't speak of money that is gone. Okay, we don't do that on this channel. So I should travel up and down to meet her and like whatever. There were a lot of flags. There were a lot of lies in that relationship, and I just kept justifying each of them. Like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not. This is love. I don't want to lose this person that I've been and grown into a relationship with. And I think that's mainly because, like, after a certain point of being with someone, you start thinking of the future and connecting them with you start inculcating them into your future, and then that binds a rope in your head. And so when they leave, to unbind that is what hurts. Like, it's very hard to unbind them from the future you already imagined with them. Does that make sense? Am I going to become a psychologist? So yeah. So I didn't want to let go because of that thing. So even though she took breaks and all, I used to cry and shit. Not exactly cry, I used to just have a lot of self-doubt, that am I not good enough, I'm doing everything right, and she's still taking breaks and shit. And she would always, it was a very mentally abusive relationship that I stayed by for a long time. I'm not going to say I was perfect. So long story short, now we'll just directly skip to the end, right? Like, so the relationship was perfect, I think, for the first 6 months. And then later, it became whatever. We were staying in a hotel, and I think she went for a shower, and I had a bit of insecurity in me, so I checked her phone. Don't do that. Never do that. Learn from me, okay? I knew everything in my brain was saying, don't do this. Don't do this, you will die. And then I found some archives of some chats with a certain someone that in my head was out of the picture, but he was archived and hidden, so clearly he was not out of the picture. And I justified that also, I was like, maybe he's annoying and she doesn't want to. I was just so messed up, dude. I was just so I was so attached in that relationship that I justified that also. And I think she had a shower, and then I didn't ask her about it. I just pretended like I didn't know shit, and then I put it in a small place in my corner of my head, and I just deleted it from there. And then I think 3 months after that, I come down, I'm with my friends and all, and this feeling from the inside, like a gut feeling that something is not right. So I think we were in a relationship for 2 years or 3, I don't remember, something around like that. And I'm getting this gut feeling that something is not right, like irrespective of all the flags and all the signs I ignored. This feeling was like, this is actually going to hurt you. It was always there, and I could feel it. And then I would text her like, is everything all right? And she got distant after I started getting that gut feeling from the inside. Note to self: always trust your gut feeling. Don't be an idiot like I am. So I was a nice guy, and I knew that she was busy with work and college and shit. So every time she said I'm fine, I used to be like, you know what? I'm just overthinking. This is nothing. So I remember for a week, she hardly spoke to me, and she was always giving up excuses like, I'm busy with this, I'm busy with that, I'm staying here, I'm staying there. Around this week, my family was in Kuwait, so I was alone at home, and I only had my friends for a week. And around that week is when she She texted me like one day out of the blue, okay, and my gut feeling just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then I met her. I didn't meet her, sorry. She texted me. So I remember I was playing pool or something with my friends in Kolva, and I got a text. Ta-dunk. Can I call you? We need to talk today. And that feeling that was there inside of me just grew. Okay, I could feel that my entire body was not working. I remember I was speechless in the moment. I was with my friends. They were playing pool, but I was zoned out from reading the text, and I knew something was coming up, right? But I didn't know what, and I knew it was bad, and I knew I was home alone also, so I didn't want to think about it. So as scared as I was, I walked down the stairs. I told my friends I'm leaving, and they knew something was up because I wasn't acting the same. I was very different. They could see it on my face. So my closest friend, Carl, shout out to you, my homie. He said that he'd come with me outside my house and then wait until, we finished talking. And he did. So he dropped me home. And I told her call. And I was outside my house only. I walked down to the end of this narrow road. And remember, this was around the time when none of my neighbors were there at home. So I went to the corner in the darkness. It's like a dark place. There was only one neighbor. I think he was looking at like what I'm doing. So she called me around 9 o'clock, and the call went on till, she called me around 9 or 10, and it went on for an hour and 15 minutes. And during that entire call, I'm not lying, okay, during that entire call, I'm walking on the street, my neighbor is concerned at what's happened to me. My friend Carl is on the bike behind for 1 hour, just sitting on the bike waiting for me to finish the call. And I remember she started telling me that, I have this problem, that problem, basically stuff that anyways I knew, and I was trying to get her out of it. And then she started talking about her ex and then a lot of stuff. And I just thought that she was going through a panic stage or something, like, she got overwhelmed with the relationship, and maybe she has some thoughts which were bottling up, and I should be the nice guy and comfort her. And for 1 hour and 20 minutes, I stood on the road and I'm trying to comfort her, because that's how much of a nice guy I was, right? Like, even though she was telling me stuff which actually was hurting me, I still wanted to be there for her, because that's just who I am, right? Whether, irrespective of the relationship or whatever, I just wanted to be there and make sure that she was fine. I didn't want her to do anything stupid. And for the entire 1 hour, now looking back, she was just waffling. And then I think at the 1 hour 20 minute mark, that's when I was about to cut the call, and that's when she told me that, by the way, I kissed someone. And the feeling that was in me just shattered. I remember I sat down on the road. I asked her whether she reached her PG or a hotel. I told her to go inside, and I cut the call. I remember I just fell onto the road. I just sat there in darkness, staring at the road, like I couldn't feel anything. It was like a numbing, there was no pain, it was just emptiness inside of me. My heart and everything was just empty. Half an hour later, like I was like this. I was actually speechless. Okay, now looking back, I've not opened this memory in so long. I was speechless, and this is where you could learn the next steps from my cheat sheet. Don't beg, don't plead, okay? Value your self-respect. If someone dumps you, just say okay and take some time, take a few days, at best 3 to 7 days, and think, what went wrong, where went wrong. I think mistake most of us make when you get dumped is that you try to explain to the other person why the relationship means so much to you. But that's the wrong approach, because when a person breaks it off with you, how do I say this? You try to explain to them why the relationship should not end, but you're trying to do that because you're trying to fix the relationship from your point of view. From their point of view, they already know how much the relationship meant to you and them, and they knew what they were letting go. So by you telling them why they should not let it go, is you just pushing them more away from you. Think of it like if you dump someone, you don't want them to explain to you why they shouldn't dump you, why you shouldn't dump them. I don't know what I'm waffling anymore. So anyways, don't beg, don't plead, just keep some distance, don't text whatever, try to self-analyze what went wrong, where went wrong, let things cool down. If you guys want someone who can give like proper advice, I highly recommend watching Dan Bacon, I watch he's very good at what he talks. Those are the same mistakes that I did. I like every time she took a break, I was begging or whatever. And it's around these times that you can be the best at what you did in the relationship. You can be the greatest. You obviously will have a few flaws. And it's around these times that the thoughts come into your head. That when you're at your lowest, those thoughts come that I did almost everything in the relationship and it still failed. And so you start self-doubting yourself. Now by me telling you this, obviously you're not going to stop self-doubting yourself or whatever. And you most probably will text when you get dumped or whatever. Just try to avoid that. Meet a friend, try to stay alone and deal with it. My advice is bad. I'm just telling you what I did. It didn't work, but I'm still alive. Anyways, a month passed after the whole incident that she told me that she cheated. And I didn't want to end the relationship because I was not attached to the relationship. I was attached to what she and I were in the start of the relationship. So I didn't want to let go of the entire relationship because I was holding on to what she and I used to be at the start of the relationship, which is another thing that you should not do. Like holding on to memories is good and all, but then at the same time when something is over, you should be able to see it as it is and just accept it, that this is no longer the same. You made some good memories, live with them and move on. I'm giving all mixed signal advices today. Anyways, a month later, I kept talking to my friends and all that. And this is another tip: don't listen to your friends if they are douchebags like mine. Because I had these simps of friends who were like, "You've been with her for 2 years, and I don't think you should let go of a relationship just because of a kiss." And that too, she told you and she apologized. And after a month of listening to this, I think we patched up and then it went on for some more time. The reason I ended that relationship was because I knew that at a certain point, I still loved her with everything that I had. And I knew that as much as I loved her, she was very bad for my mental state. I think it lasted for another 6 or 7 months, then I broke it off. And since she tried to come back, and even though I wanted her back, I knew that it was not right because she had such a heavy toll on me as a person. And in the long run, I knew that wouldn't work because it would always be the same thing where I get more attached and then I get more hurt by her actions. And I ended it. So what is the moral of this story? I was once a broken man and now I am just more broken. I don't know if I'm going to make more cheaters by saying this, but after I got cheated on, there was a time during that entire relationship where my friends were cheaters. I'm not going to name any of them. And their justification to the whole cheating thing was, if you cheat first, this is either going to make a lot more cheaters in the world. And I just want to say, I am not supporting this idea. Okay, I've still not done it, but I don't support it. So their basic ideology was that if you cheat first, when your significant partner hurts you by either cheating or dumping you, it's going to hurt less because in your head you've already done something worse and you've done it first. And even though I never understood that, it always comes to my head. Like I remember after I got dumped, the whole cheating thing happened. It kept coming into my head that I should have cheated first. What is the point of giving so much into a person? And slowly over time, no one talks about this, but every player that is there in the world has had his feelings played with at one point, and that's why he plays with feelings now. I am just waffling about, I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore, but yeah, just focus on yourself. If you're a nice guy like me, the moral is, what's the moral? Dating sucks. Nice guys finish last, and love hurts. Thank you for watching. I hope you've taken something very emotionally strong from this video and you could learn from your mistakes. If you guys want quality content, please subscribe. This is going to be a very long video. I can already see it's 32 minutes or something. So if you watch this entire thing, I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate it. I don't say that much to the people watching my videos, but yeah, I'm gonna do a PewDiePie now. Bro fist.